your memories are keeping you stuck. We just have to acknowledge that for a second. Because everything that you do, every action that you take comes from a memory. And this memory could be a lived experience, or it can be an imaginal memory that's been implanted based off of what you've been focusing your attention on. Prove me wrong. Seriously. Genuinely let me know if this is wrong. Because I haven't been able to find anything that opposes that yet. Because I'm always trying to find both sides to make sure that what I'm saying is genuine. But I have not found anything to oppose that yet. Because every time I act, and everything that I do, including this video right now, always comes with some memory based off of my past experiences. Everything. Literally everything. And the sad reality that I have found myself in for years is that I want certain things for myself, but when in attempting to get these things for myself, it's tainted with memories that make me feel incapable, unworthy, unsatisfied, whatever it might be. And that those feelings in association to those memories, whether true or untrue, puts a barrier between where I'm at now and where I want to go. And it's the same exact thing for you. You have desires for yourself. You have ambitions, you have goals, you have wishes. But you have memories that are holding you back from attaining them because your memories is a point of reference of what you can expect to happen. Because something to note, and I hope you're taking notes, is something called predictive processing, which is a mechanism that our brain does when entering new situations. We predict things to happen in accordance to what has happened to us in the past. And we create these mental models that essentially keep us looping over and over and over because we're simply expecting the same result to happen again and again and again. How many times have you been in a situation where you want to do something? Let's say if you're a guy and you want to approach a beautiful woman and you want to approach her, but then all of a sudden your gut gets filled with fear, like atrocious fear, diabolical fear. And then you don't do it. And then you see her waltz away looking like a perfect princess. It's like, shit, there goes my opportunity. And then you convince yourself that you're no good and you're unworthy and da-da-da-da-da. How many times? I can tell you for me, that's happened hundreds of times probably. Hundreds of times that I've seen a beautiful woman and I got too nervous to say hello. Who knows what I missed out on because of that? Who knows what you've missed out on because of that? And it could, if you're a girl watching this, how many times has there been a man that you wanted to say something to, but you were too afraid to say something? Or it's not the standards. Women shouldn't go approach men, which that's a nuanced conversation. Not really. I mean, if you're a woman and you find a man attractive, go say what's up. Men, we love that talk. We love it. We love it in the same way that you love it. How many times have you seen an attractive man that you wanted to say something and you didn't go say anything? It's the same thing for you. Who knows what you just missed out on because of your fear? And more specifically to this video, because of a memory of a guy rejecting you or a girl rejecting you. Maybe it's a business matter. How many times have you wanted to start a business only for you not to start the business because you tried to start a business in the past and it failed miserably? Or maybe you experienced a little bit of success and then something came and threw you off your kill, and then you maybe lost money. That memory stays within your mind and your body and ultimately your spirit. And then because you're constantly drawing back to those experiences, you are now not able to create the business that you want for yourself because you're expecting failure. Extrapolate this to anything in your life. It works for everything. The crazy part about this conversation, the crazy thing about memories, is that a lot of our memories are not even accurate to what happened. Most of what's going on inside of our mind is more rooted in imagination than it is in memory too. And this is where things can change for you. You can use your imagination to implant new memories. You can. You do it all the time. You're doing it every single day. Elizabeth Loftus is a famous psychologist who came up with a study where she essentially would suggest that their brother, this was a study that you can actually go look up, that their brother got lost in the mall. But 25% of the participants agreed. It's not 75%, still 25%. And this is just one small study. She said that their brother got lost in the mall, even though it never actually happened. How many times do you think you've been suggested something to yourself only for you to accept it as true, even though it never happened? Probably way more than you and I can really fathom, to be honest. I don't remember my childhood to the extent that I would like. Therefore, I'm subject to false memories more than you probably are, which I understand is a trauma response, and I have to do my own healing in regards to my youth. But I understand this though. I understand that because I don't remember a lot of my childhood, there's probably a lot of what I do remember is true to an extent, but a lot of it probably isn't as accurate as I think it is. Furthermore, I would expound on that, and I would say that, you know, I would argue with my siblings in my head, or friends in my head, or people in my head, based off of something that they said, and then I would start to ruminate about how much I didn't like this person, and then I would start to create ideas about them that weren't actually true. How many times have you done that? You're guilty too, man. We're both guilty of that. Whether you want to admit it or not, it doesn't matter. You're guilty just as much as I'm guilty. But the more I understand this discussion, this topic of memories, the more I acknowledge the fact that, man, I really have put a lot of bad memories onto people that aren't even real. And I became addicted to what I wanted to be real, because it would prove that my point of view is right and that they're wrong, or I'm rightfully projecting onto them. Memories are crazy, dude. Memories truly are a deep aspect of manifestation, metaphysics, esoteric stuff. And the more that you contemplate this for yourself, the more you're going to come to the same conclusion. That most of everyone's memories are not accurate to what actually happened. This is where the conversation shifts though. Because as I said, you can create imaginal memories that can benefit you, that can serve you, that can redefine bad experiences. For example, I lost 30 grand because of two jobs that went south. I've lost more than 30 grand, probably 40, 45 grand in my entire business experience over the past 3 years. The majority of that was between two different projects, a $100,000 project and a $55,000 project, both from the same subcontractor. So there's a couple things going here. One is that subcontractors suck. Okay, that was the memory that I held on for a period of time. The other one is that I'm not capable of handling big jobs. So I had one memory that branched out into two different circumstances, so to speak, if that's the right way of describing it. And because I had these bad memories, I wasn't able to extract the wisdom, the lessons from these situations. I wasn't able to acknowledge what I didn't do and what I could have done better, because I was so fixated on what happened. But because I've been able to accept what's happened, I now can look back at those two jobs and I can find so much wisdom and so many lessons from those two jobs that I will never have to experience them again. And more importantly, I look at those situations with a sense of pride now, because at least I'm putting myself in a position to make those mistakes. At least I'm putting myself in a position to learn. At least I'm putting myself in a position where I actually am holding space for $100,000 to be made. That's pretty cool, man. I'm 26. Who knows what I'm going to be doing at 30? 10 million, 100 mil, a billion. Who knows what I'm going to be doing? But because I now have a healthy relationship with those memories, I have forgiven myself of those situations. Those memories no longer haunt me, so to speak. They actually serve me. They make me more excited. They make me more ambitious. They make me more excited for what's to come. Let me tell you another one. There was a time back in the day when I was dating the most beautiful girl in the whole high school. I was that guy. And which is crazy because I did date the hottest girl in school. Yet this one situation made me feel like the ugliest guy in that school for years to come after the fact. I was walking in the gym and one of her friends, which I'm not going to get into the semantics of it, but one of her friends came and she gave me a finger glove. It's meant for cuts, basically like a condom for your finger. And she said, "Here, this will fit you better." And that messed with my head so much because then I'm starting to think about, okay, well, is my girl telling her friends about my dick size? Is she saying it's too small? Is she saying it's not good? Is she da-da-da-da-da-da-da? So now I just have this memory is rooted in fear of not being good enough for women. Fear of not being performative enough for women. Just fear of not being good enough. And from that moment, I swear for years, that would come back in my mind. And I wouldn't be able to accept the fact that I did date the hottest girl in school that every fucking guy wanted. Everybody wanted her, but I was the one who got her. Once I stopped focusing on that, I started to realize that, I mean, it's kind of a compliment in a way, now that I look at it, because they're probably jealous to some degree. If they didn't want us to be together that bad, clearly I'm doing something right. Clearly I'm an attractive guy. Maybe she wanted me. Who knows? I don't know. I don't care to know. But instead of letting that situation and that memory destroy my self-confidence, I've extracted the wisdom and the lesson from that. And now it doesn't affect me anymore. There's so much wisdom in lessons in your memories. And the last thing that we're going to quickly talk about is the fact that we have so many memories that we create from, but we also have so many things that we create within our own imagination in associations to memories. So we have a small bubble of memories, but then we have a massive bubble of imaginal acts that are inspired from these memories. You can plant new imaginal memories into your mind. This is manifestation 101. It's holding a visual scene inside of your mind of what you want to experience. And there really is no difference between memory and imagination, because imagination holds memory. So you're just gaining awareness. In the same way that I have this phone here, you see that this phone is here. Okay, now it's not on the screen, but now you have awareness that there's a phone right here. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And if consciousness truly does produce matter, it is what we see inside of our mind that produces the rearrangement of matter. The phone, the camera, the couch, these posters behind me, this whole building came from the imagination. What imaginal acts can you put into your mind that will make your dreams come true? Who do you need to see yourself to be in order for them to come true? Why spend your time hyper fixating on BS that doesn't serve you? It doesn't make any sense. It's really sad too to think about it, or if you think about it, because you're spending pretty much the entire time of your day ruminating on things that you don't even like. And at this point, you've just become addicted to your suffering. You become addicted to the negative memories that you've experienced. And now this is that addiction, the negativity, has become your identity. This is why, and I know this is a touchy subject, but this is why people who are trauma survivors, they make it their whole identity. It's like, do you really want to be known for your trauma? I don't know. Well, I mean, in some cases, yeah, they love the attention. They love the rubbing the back, because when they get their back rubbed, they now feel seen and they feel affirmed in their trauma. Meanwhile, they're walking through their entire life with that trauma as the foundation of who they are. That doesn't sound like a life worth living to me. And that's not to say they should be suicidal or should just end their life. No, it means let's change the foundation in which you create your experience off of. I've had plenty of horrible things happen to me, and I could use the same narrative that I'm a trauma survivor, but I care not for that foundation. My foundation is one of abundance, one of joy, happiness, and love. Everything that I do stems off that foundation. And if there's ever a crack, I repair it by implanting new imaginal acts. And this is to such a degree that I literally feel a somatic response in my body. A deep somatic response. And the more that you mess around with your imagination, the more you really do start to gain this awareness that there's not really a huge difference between memory and imagination. And you do start to ask yourself, I've experienced so much limitation in my experience of life. I hear about stories, I hear about people doing certain things. I watch movies and TV shows, but my actual lived experience is so finite in comparison to what I hear through other people, things, places, circumstances, and events. Which makes you draw awareness to the reality of how grand your imagination truly is, and how much of your memory plays a part in your everyday experience. Which then brings you to the next point of evolution, which looks like you asking yourself, what do I want in my mind? What memories do I want in my mind? What do I want to act upon based off of what I've experienced in the past and what I see inside of my mind right now? That's where the fun starts. And it's not like you're going to be manifesting $1 million on your lap or the dream car in an hour. No, sure, that stuff is going to come. But it's more importantly the way in which you go about your day, where you have a sense of self-assurance, a sense of deep self-love that cannot be shaken. Imagine your life being so peaceful, so loving, so abundant, rather than fearful, isolated, negative. What does your life look like? Who are you being? What memories are you thinking of? What memories are you choosing to create? And as you alchemize your past, you start to usher in a new future that aligns with who and what you want for yourself. You need to audit your imagination. You need to audit your memories and ask yourself, is what I'm recalling worth it? Is what I'm recalling creating my dreams? Is what I'm recalling making me the person that I want to be? Is what I'm recalling creating the experience that I want for myself? It should always be what you want. This does not mean you're going to bypass suffering. Don't get that twisted. Do not get that twisted. Life will still be challenging, and that's perfectly okay. Life becomes drastically easier though. Challenges become less and less tedious and challenging because now you have tools and an understanding of how to deal with things in those situations. And this makes you a very powerful creator. So, what memories are you choosing today?